Hello my little stars and welcome to my Halloween special episode. Today we're going to be reading none other than Addendum Discovery Island, which is a written project by none other than Radiance Team, taking place after the events of none other than FNATI Treasure Island and Oblitus Casa, the games. So the summary for this one is, a decade after the events of Treasure Island, a small research team is sent to the island to evaluate its status after years of dormancy. What starts as a routine job slowly turns into a grueling nightmare as the island isn't nearly as dormant as it looked. Because for some reason people still think that it's a good idea to literally go onto an island where people have either gone missing or bad things have happened. As you do. Either way, I'm going to be going into this blind and be reading it from start to finish. At present there's 17 pages, so let's just jump right on into it, and I hope you guys will enjoy this. I don't really know what we are dealing with here, so I don't know what kind of warnings to give, only that this is horror, and we are dealing with, like, the universe of none other than Financial Treasure Island, so you know how dark it can get. Okay, with that being said, why don't we just skidoo and get on right on into reading. Oh my goodness gracious me, I almost forgot 10 likes in this video, and we will of course cover more of this one if you guys are interested. Hit that goal, and then when we get a bunch of pages, I'll continue reading on if you guys want to see more from this. Either way, I'll see you guys towards the end of the video, and yeah, hope you enjoy sitting down for this one. I have no clue how long this is going to be. So let's get going. Entry number 1, let's go. It is cold. I thought after something they would supply us with jackets as part of our uniform, but no. It seems they don't really trust us with that sort of thing, considering we all do this work behind closed doors. Okay, I already need to ask a question here. Why do they not trust you with at least jackets? Are you, like, really unstable where you cannot be trusted with clothes? But then again, you are clearly wearing uniforms, so that doesn't make any lick of sense. So why don't they trust you with a jacket? Are you literally saying they don't trust you with a jacket, or are you just skipping over and referring to something else? Because if you are, I'm slightly confused why they would not supply you with a jacket. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Because if they didn't supply you with a jacket because you are mentally unstable, they shouldn't at all let you go on this assignment at all, and you should probably be tied up in one of those, you know, little white coats with, like, the little straps on the back. Because you're all freaking crazy going on this adventure. That's all I'm saying. They should be in straight jackets. Try finding me or the people that work with me on official company records, paperwork, and all that fun stuff. Okay. I know I'm not supposed to let this bother me, especially since our line of work for this company is the kind of thing they make sure you don't talk about, but I can't help but feel unappreciated sometimes. I guess it's good cash, but still. Good cash? It can't be that good cash if they're not going to supply you with a freaking jacket. Is a jacket really something hard for them to provide you with? Something to keep you warm? Stingy freaking company, what is this? I'm sorry, they don't provide you with jackets. What? We do so much for them, and what do we get in return? Well, apparently you get good money. Sure, you don't get a jacket, but apparently you're still getting paid. You didn't elaborate how much money you're getting, though. In a way, all this makes me feel alienated. Because they don't provide you with a jacket? I know things that nobody outside of here knows. I can't talk about the things I know too, so here I am stuck writing this book. I don't even know what I'm allowed to write here, but frankly, this will probably be better than keeping everything locked away in my brain. Tired. Why did you draw yourself as a Disney character? Are they forcing the Disney characters to do labour? Oh my god, are they actually forcing the characters to do things? What is this? Is this Mickey? Is this really? Oh my god, the loneliness of this gets to me sometimes. I feel stupid writing about it as I sit here on this boat, approaching my assignment. Hey, there's a mouse out here that clearly appreciates the boat. Do not underappreciate the boat. The boat is life for that mouse. I am reminded that I will be stuck here until October with mostly complete strangers. This, the fact that it says October is also probably to do with the fact that they've got another game dropping on October the 31st, which is, Nightmare Below Disney. But still. Oh no, I'm stuck with them until October. 10 months with them on the island. We'll probably start eating each other. Fair enough. Okay, where was I? Oh, yes. There are 1 or 2 familiar faces, but I don't think that's enough. I guess I can admit it's my own fault due to the fact I have absolutely no interest in befriending these people. I have no idea what they were previously involved with, how they act, what they like, etc. I just have my fingers crossed we don't end up killing each other by the time this is all over. Here's to the next 9 months. This is great going. Wow, well done, Mr. Positive. You're doing great already. Look at him, he's already thinking they're going to murder each other. Okay, so January the 21st. Wow, after 3 weeks, I think I've officially lost it. Caught myself missing my last assignment. What was your last assignment? The strange looks I get, the humidity, the overgrown vegetation, the smells, just everything. It's becoming annoying. Camping out on Discovery Island was definitely not on my things to do before I croak. Fair enough. Also, why are you on Discovery Island? There's freaking rare birds nesting there. Hope you're not disturbing the wildlife. Every day it's been the same thing. Wake up, eat, tell people what to do, set up equipment, document things, write my feelings in here, and then sleep. I like the fact that he underlined sleep. So, does that mean you haven't been sleeping? Rinse and repeat. Maybe I should be more optimistic. But that's quite the strange notion when I remember why I'm even here in the first place. They crowbarred me into managing this team after referral from something in the HR department. Following my usual morning routine, I checked my email, preparing myself with some coffee. One of the department suits had then let me know that there was something important I should receive. Okay, and what was it? I couldn't. I wish I didn't have to be spent... Wait, what? I couldn't let out a sigh of relief. I found it in my spam before I could let out a sigh. Alright, here we go. I should receive. I couldn't find it at first, almost thinking there wasn't anything actually for me. Remember? Nope, before I could let out a sigh of relief, I found it in my spam folder. Well then, that's already telling you something. He already wasn't interested. I wish I didn't have to be spending the new year smelling the weird odor Bay Lake gives off. Isn't there like this problems in Bay Lake? Like there's something actually in the water? I thought after River Country I would never have to see or smell it again. But here I am. Who knew it was even more noticeable when you're speeding directly through it in a boat? I can't believe so people swim in it. Oh boy. This is the first time they've officially gone through with a checkup on this place. For the longest time, they avoided doing anything with the island. Last I heard, the final people to step foot on its grass were the people who went in to clean the building out and cut off the electricity. Plus, the occasional trespassers. The stories I've heard, while most of them aren't directly available to us, float around in rumors. Some of them are strange, but most of them aren't surprising. All I know for sure is that oh good lord, this is the longest running case they had to deal with, and is possibly the first due to some poor decisions, plus your freaking own poor decisions for even freaking coming here. Remember, always entrust... oh, throwing shade. He's throwing shade. Remember, always entrust an amateur group of nerds with handling your supposed ghost problem. Wow, so much much shade thrown. Wow. This one doesn't like them at all. Wow, there's so much shade. It's a miracle they could keep this place open for as long as they did. Ignoring the obvious, of course, the smell isn't much better when you're on the land. In fact, I say it got worse. Putrid, filthy, rotting. That is a sign of rotting corpses, or something you should probably avoid, buddy. Okay, so next entry, February 1st. Huh, okay. Terry is the only one that I somewhat out of the whole group. Somewhat know out of the whole group. Terry! I know the name Terry. I had to work with him on a previous assignment a few months ago. He's an alright guy, and I'm glad to have someone I can talk to in this dump. He's a bit older, probably in his 40s. I think it's safe to assume that when you consider the aging on his face and patterns of grey hair, they are only noticeable in his beard, though. Okay. As stereotypical as they might be. Okay. He only talks about those back in my day story when I talk to him. It can get boring after a while, but at least most of them are entertaining. To an extent. Wow. I do appreciate the guy, though. He approached me in the middle of a boring computer work, which was fine considering I could barely get any sort of working signal. Oh yeah, because the Wi-Fi is terrible. Even when things do decide to work, this equipment they gave us is so old, it decides to lag out before you can even do anything of note. But the thing is, though, you also have to keep in mind, if this is anything to do with spirits and stuff as well, the spirits tend to drain from electrical equipment, at least that's what people say, right? So maybe it's not just lagging, maybe something is using the power from them. You know, it's been a while since I've seen you, is what he said in an attempt to open a conversation. I'm not one for small talk, but we needed something to take our mind off of being here, I suppose. You got shafted here too, was all I could think of. I wasn't exactly prepared to have a normal conversation during an assignment like this. Normal conversation during an assignment? Okay. I was actually stationed here. Oops, yeah, spelling. When I was younger, not too many fond memories of this place, and to be honest, it's not that surprising it ended up like this. Terry was, for a lack of better terms, okay, recruited for this program due to his long working relationship with the company. I believe used to do security for the park. Well, I kind of sucked at that. There's a chance he could actually have been one of the first to be on board when he was started. Yeah, isn't Terry the name of one of the people that were like part of like the original ones? I'm pretty sure it was. I could have sworn there was someone in the group called Terry. He seems to know more than I do. It's interesting to note when you talk to actual people about Discovery Island, they usually almost have the little positive things to say about it. I was honestly kind of surprised that people actually visit here, considering it wasn't exactly the most popular thing people went to Disney World for. I feel like most people could care less about seeing exotic birds. Thing is, some pretty messed up stuff happened in there, wasn't there? They had to close it down due to neglectments and stuff like that. If I recall correctly about it when I was doing research about it, like some pretty bad stuff happened for it to get shut down. And even now, they've closed it down because a lot of like exotic birds, rare birds are nesting on the island, so it is really not a good idea for people to trespass on there at all. So I would advise, if you do love Finding Treasure, please don't go trespassing on Discovery Island. Because there's some pretty endangered species nesting on the island, so please don't go messing with it. Let's see. When you can go ride the Haunted Mansion or the Tower of Terror instead. I'm not sure if those ones are still there right now, because don't like some of the rides get swapped out. I tried to get Terry to tell me more about this place, because to be honest, I was kind of curious, since there weren't many people left who could actually vouch for how things really were. He wouldn't budge beyond a few words. Understandably, he's like, the less you know, the better. a few stories. After a while, he started responding with dry sentences, avoiding the topic. Yeah, he doesn't want to talk about it for obvious reasons. People died. He almost always ended up the story about the island with a single key sentence. It wasn't any different than it is now. Yeah, because it's kind of like stuck, isn't it? It's like it's frozen in time. As weird as that sounds. Okay, next entry, I believe it's this one. Is it February the 5th? Because this one was February the 1st. So February the 5th now. Okay, so February 5th. We didn't realize it until we all gathered in our makeshift cafeteria for dinner. Just a table and some things, which I'm already absolutely sick of eating. I don't know what that says. As soon as I saw him, he was already gone. The boats we had hidden ashore were missing. What? What? What was what one of us had noticed before anything else? What? 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 Did Terry like it? Did Terry freaking yeet? Either Terry died or Terry yeeted. Terry was like, no, I'm leaving you guys here. I know what's here. I'm not going in there. Did Terry say something and Terry was like, nope, I'm not going through this again. That was one I had noticed before anything else. Then came the questions that made my heart sink. Has anyone seen Terry? Did he though? Terry seemingly had decided to bail on us all while we slept. The working theory is he woke up before we all did, packed some of his things, took the boats and left. But why would he take all of the boats? And how would he even do that? Why take them all? How many boats were there? How did he manage to take them all, and how come nobody noticed? I know you were all sleeping, but surely at least one person was a light sleeper. Come on. Surely you've got someone staying up, like, watching over things. Hello? Terrible security you guys have. My God. We can't really think of anything else. Because it mostly seems like there's absolutely nothing here. Oh my God. It was immediately decided to split up into a few groups to search. The island is pretty large, but searching it is much more manageable if done this way. Oh my God, no! The overgrown vegetation blends in together, oh God, creating one big saturated green blob. Not exactly the best environment to go looking for a missing person. Terry, as far as I'm aware, wouldn't do something like this. Everything is wrong with this situation. What person suddenly just decides to get up and leave without giving any sort of warning, especially in a place like this? It feels wrong. Well, the thing is, if Terry knows some stories and he was probably there during some like the bad worst case scenario things, maybe he saw something that spooked him. Otherwise, maybe something took him. And then maybe the things on the island are just sticking with you. 649. I could swear that the birds chirping got louder as I tried to listen quietly for anything, cries calling for help. Well, first of all, if the birds are crying, you're fine. If birds suddenly stop making a noise, freaking leg it, because that is a predator. That is something you should be afraid of. If it goes dead silent and you can't hear anything, yeet it. It doesn't matter. Freaking yeet for it. Just run. Let's see. I think cries calling for help. Or something that could even cue into where he could have been. There was nothing. The crumbling buildings turned up empty. Nothing could be found in them except for leftover scraps of paper. Surrounded by dust, rusted walls, and two other people helping me search weren't doing much to actually help, as they mostly just followed me like lost puppies. Knowing my luck, I probably got the worst part of the island to search. If Terry actually just walked off and we found him alive, I'm killing him for this. If he really... Oh God. If he really left us behind, what made him do it? Did he find something? It doesn't make sense. It's the protocol to alert the other team members if you spot something. More importantly, how does an old guy escape with... Yeah, I want to know how many boats... With 3 boats on his own without being noticed. Yeah, so how did that happen? That's 3 boats. I mean, he could have tied them together and then rowed one of them, but there's still 3 boats, though. Wouldn't you hear him? The feeling of being watched is hard to ignore. Oh, bloomin' heck. When you're out in the woods, usually I can shrug it off, but I feel my fears are solidified now that Terry has vanished. How am I supposed to sleep at night knowing that there is a possibility I could be taken when my guard isn't up? Oh, please, if someone wanted to take you, they would have took you already. There wasn't a single way we could have stopped it. No one saw or heard anything. By the time we noticed, it was too late. We approached a tall, derelict building that seemed to be in the center of the island. I looked at a map and... And what? For some reason, it is not listed there. Oh, well, that's bloody brilliant. I looked through the files in my bag, and while I could find the floor plans for nearly every building on the island, none of them seemed to match the outer layout of this building. There was no labels or any sort of indication on what this building could be. The entrance was left, however, was left open. Oh, did something freaking come out? As I approached the building with full intentions of entering, the short blonde girl in my group stopped me. Well, stop it, Bimmy. She tugged at my shirt, then signaled me to listen. I didn't want to waste my time. It was like the only birds making weird sounds until I heard what she wanted me to hear. There was footsteps. It wasn't us. Okay. As by then, we had all stopped to listen to them. Loud, clumsy, wet steps. Okay, someone had fallen in water. They became louder for us as they came closer to where we were. I don't think any of us were prepared to see what was making them. The dog has eyes. Hello. Mean you couldn't even doodle it? I'm so disappointed with you. February 7th. We found something. It is not what I was hoping for, but we're not sure what to call it. I've heard stories about the island, but nothing could have prepared me for what this is. Standing in front of us was Clarabelle Cow. Oh, Clarabelle! Oh gosh, I loved Clarabelle. Was a fun character. Or at least an approximation of the character. It took us a while to figure this out because it was an obscured character. It was one of the old designs. She was a near perfect physical form of the character, like it had just jumped right out from one of the cartoons. Her body was entirely shiny and wrinkled, with melted and warped features. She almost looked like a melted wax figure. The smell hit me as soon as we saw her. The best way I could describe it was that roadkill mixed with something akin to a strong sharpie scent. I gagged, almost dry heaved even, which made her look at me. Okay, the fact that she's moving, that's concerning. At least I think she did. The empty soulless sockets made it hard to tell her face. Her face reminded me of a crude Halloween mask. What the F is that? Says the blonde girl, apparently not recognizing a freaking melted Disney character in front of her face. The blonde girl's choice of words in reaction to what we are looking at. The thing turned to face her, noticing that something made a sound. We didn't exactly know what to do in this situation, fair enough. Especially since we were in the middle of looking for someone who was possibly dead or possibly dying already dead. I almost didn't want to move at all. What if this thing is faster than us? Maybe. I mean, she could maybe just be friendly. Maybe if you're nice to her, she won't do anything. What if it was stronger and attacking it would just, annoy it? Could this be why Terry's missing? It could have done something to him. There's no way the timing of all this is a coincidence. The thing is, though, she was like towards the middle of the island, so unless Terry went walking towards the middle, where's the 3 boats? Oh my god, did Willy go around? Willy, did you steal more boats? It's probably Willy. Probably Willy was looking for his boat and he decided to steal more boats because he thought they were his. The thing moved like a puppet on strings, each movement jittering and rushed, until now it had been relatively slow, but after a few awkward seconds, staring, it bolted after one of us. It bolted after one of us, put our flashlight right in its face. Well, fair enough. You just stuck it in her face, poor girl. How freaking... You wouldn't like it if someone stuck that in your face. An attempt to get a better look at it. It made a low-pitched sound that came off like a pain scream, but it was so gurgled and distorted that it was hard to make out. I was alright about it being faster than us. It quickly faded out as it ran back into the foggy forest. Yeah, she doesn't like the light. You nincompoop. Well done, you scared one of the locals. What is wrong with you? We haven't even seen it since. I don't know how to even process this. In all honesty, I put off writing about it, but trying to pretend this didn't happen isn't doing me any favors. The rest of me know about it now. It took them a while to believe it. I almost feel like I'm losing it. Maybe I am. There's still no sign of Terry. Hey, but at least you got to meet Clarabelle Clow. And you blinded the poor thing. No shame. At all. What is wrong with you people? My goodness, you literally ended up being visitors to an island. What do? You disturb the local, haunted attractions. Haunted local people. I mean, Disney Island, do you see Clarabelle Clow? What you do? You shine a torch in her eye. You don't even apologize for blinding the poor woman. Rude. I woke up in a dark room. At first I thought it was pitch black, until my eyes focused on the dim lit bulb. Okay, so where are you? Feb 9th, okay. In the center of the ceiling, it felt like I couldn't move. Okay, stuck laying on the cold floor with no idea where I was. It was like I experienced sleep paralysis. How did you end up here now, buddy? But it felt more like something was holding my arms and legs down rather than my muscles just being locked. All I could feel was fear. The feeling subsided the more I observed my surroundings, or at least what I was limited to. There was music. Oh, blimey neck if it sounds like freaking Disney Run! I couldn't make out what was going... Oh god, if it's Willy singing his freaking song... Please don't be who I think it is. I couldn't make out what song it was, but it sounded old. It fizzled over a speaker. I couldn't see echoing through the room. It almost looked like the small bulb lit up the room was flickering along with the song. Each dim and settling followed in sync with the crackling from the music. I closed my eyes. Then I opened them and noticed that I was now standing up. What? Okay. I could finally move, but the feeling of dread did not settle. It was difficult to describe how I exactly felt at that moment. The best I can settle on is emotionally drained, I guess. Just being in that room every second was painful. The room looked entirely nonsensical. Okay. But how did you get to this room from seeing Clarabelle? The floor was tiled, and each square was cracked, stained and dusty. The walls looked like wood from a distance, but as I walked closer to them, they became concrete. The ceiling was closer to them. Oh man, the ceiling was higher up, as if to make the room for something tall. It was all laid out in a huge, perfect, even square. Okay. Is he like hallucinating? Is he like dreaming? The thick layer of darkness surrounding me was further masked by my blurry eyesight. I didn't have my glasses. I hope with my fingers crossed I was alone as I roamed throughout. I needed to find a way out. The music got closer as I walked, and I tried to stay away from it, but it kept getting louder no matter which way Oh, that's bad. Which way I went. There was a feeling of curiosity to find out where the music was coming from. Then it found me. Oh, blimey neck. The figure was sitting down. Its shape was hard to make out at first, but as I walked closer, there was no mistaking in figuring out the answer. It was a Mickey. He sat on a short wooden stool facing a wall. Probably. Oh no! It is Willy! Oh no! There's your boat thief! The seat was decayed and stained, and Mickey himself looked wrong. He had the iconic Steamboat Willie design, but it wasn't right. The colors were the other way around. His face was a dark grey, almost black, instead of a black body. It was now white. It sat there like he was in the middle of a nap. Oh, look at him. Maybe I should leave him alone, eh? How about you leave him alone? Sometimes it's better to just leave them there. He was metal. Well, fair enough, then he's definitely not the right one. Or that's what he seemed to be made out of. There was screws, dents, and more. His arms, which were in a permanent pose of waving hello, was pinned into his metal torso. His sailor hat looked to be a sort of steam pipe. As I looked, I noticed patterns of rust forming all around him. The whole thing was like some sort of peculiar abstract art piece. He suddenly sprung to life as I attempted... Why did you... Don't go too close to him. When I attempted to understand what I was looking at but the wall in front of him, I jumped and stepped back in fear of what would happen next. The small light bulb he had for a nose lit up. Oh, that's kind of cute. And flickered. Shortly after, his eyes began to flicker with the light as well, casting it on the wall. His ears rotated. At first, I thought they were wheels, but I was quick to figure out they were reels of a film. It was a projector. Oh, that's clever. The wall was filled with a white square. Oh, alright. I waited to see what he was showing me. Then a single word faded into the center of it all. I had to squint my eyes to make out what it said. Repet? Repeti? Wait. Repetition? Okay. Fair enough. That's a big word. I didn't understand. Why did it show me this specific word? The black speckles of film grain then started to form into a faint shape. It morphed into a blob of colour, hidden behind how blurry the film was. The sense of draining returned as it formed into a familiar set of 3 circles connected to a body. Oh dear. Which mouse is it? Oh god. Which mouse is it? See. The black outline of a hand reached out to me and slowly opened. It crept closer and closer, filling the square until I finally woke up. My bed was soaked in sweat. Oh, blooming neck. I've had issues with nightmares before, but they're never this surreal. I could remember it all like it really happened. That's because it freaking did happen, you ding-ding. You ring-a-ding-a-ding-dang. Oh boy, I think they want him. Oh no. Better him than me. Alright, let's continue. February the 21st. It's been a while. It's been a few days since that nightmare. Not much has happened since. I've been looking over the maps we were given before they sent us out, trying to find certain landmarks in my free time. Ever since the incident with that Clarabelle thing, I've noticed a lot of stuff on the maps aren't right. There are whole buildings that simply just aren't on them for some reason. Some of the buildings feel wrong. It's hard to describe. Rooms don't fit, sometimes the layouts don't make much sense, and some rooms are in complete different states of decay. It's something I've noticed in nearly every building we've explored so far. I don't think it's just the island getting to me, but maybe I'm wrong. None of it feels right. On the bright side, I feel comfortable knowing that I'm not the only one venting my thoughts into a journal. I've noticed another guy doing it. I don't know his name, but he usually writes before he goes to sleep. It is weird to say. I wish I could see what he put in there. Oh, are we going to see that eventually? Maybe it could help me realize the other people that are here with me are actually people with lives outside of these assignments. Wow, so he's kind of a little bit detached, the character is, because to him, he's just like, yeah, these are just people that do things. They don't have lives outside of this. I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. We have to agree to at least attempt capturing Clarabelle. Why? You traumatized poor Clarabelle. Leave that poor cow alone. At least she didn't freaking attack you. But how dare you? Leave her alone. The poor thing. This is the most miserable and dangerous part of this job, but based on what we've seen, it's most likely be more annoying than anything else. Let's hope it goes well. Why do you want to antagonize her? She ran away and left you alone. If you get killed, it's your own fault. You 100% deserve it. Oh my god, are we really going to capture poor Clarabelle? For God's sake. February the 22nd. The spotlight surrounding her lit up while she was in the middle of picking flowers. Oh, come on. Leave her alone, man. She's just picking flowers and you're not just going to go blinding the poor thing? I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for these people right now. I mean, it makes sense if she was trying to kill someone, but the fact she's just, like, picking flowers. That's, like, so harmless. Oh my god. Nearly 4 hours of waiting for her to show up finally paid off. This time we were ready for her. Even though it's technically my job to try and stop these issues, I contributed for different reasons. I needed to make sure the current situation doesn't worsen. At least, I hope this will take care of it. For all we know, as innocent as Clarabelle may act, it's very likely she is what's causing things to go bump in the night. There is no room for risk. And what if she's not making things go bump in the night? Oh no, things are going bump in the night. Let's blame the cow. She literally can't see very well, right? But she's picking... No, let's just blame the cow. Let's blame Clarabelle. Let's not blame, like, you know, anything else that could probably be on the island. I mean, it's not like there's a ton of other Disney characters that could be to blame. Let's 100% blame it on Clarabelle, who's just picking flowers. Because that's evil. The plan was to guide her into one of the large shipping containers. Oh my god, if she doesn't murder them, I'll be surprised. And if she doesn't murder them and something else comes along and gets them, serves them right. That's instant karma for upsetting this poor cow. Containers to use as a makeshift cell for her. We slammed the door shut and locked it. As per protocol, we will attempt to interact with whatever she is. I have no idea if it would even respond at all. Either way, her being contained for the time being is a net positive for everyone. Is it though? Or it could be calling for problems. You know, she could probably have friends, buddy. They ran into the container after nearly 3 minutes of just stumbling around. She tried her best to avoid the flares we lit. Oh, I feel so bad for her. We pointed directly at her. There was nowhere for her to go. Now, it's so mean. The second the lock clicked, it felt an immense weight taken off my shoulder. I didn't expect it to go this easy. You're so freaking mean. The general moral of the team had improved. The mood is still... For God's sake, I'm sorry. I feel so bad for Clara. She was just picking freaking flowers. Oh my... This really annoyed me now. The mood is still sour, but it's incredibly relieving to know that at least for the time being, we're actually safe. She didn't do anything, though, to be fair. Like, has she actually, like, we haven't got any conflict, 100% confirmation it was her doing anything at all. Are you also going to go and freaking grab the film, Mickey, the one that showed you the freaking word? No, I don't see you going to get that bloody thing. No, let's just pick on the cow. Why am I, like, so, like, for the protecting the freaking cow right now? Poor Clarabelle! The time being, we're actually safe. We started to interact with each other more, even though we're supposed to keep that to a minimum. I can't say I have much in common with some of these people, but it feels nice that I can rely on some of them. I guess teamwork really does make the dream work, right? Ha, ha. Is she really inside the container? February 23rd. The question game isn't something Clarabelle is exactly good at. Her responses are odd. It's very hard to describe them in writing. I don't know what I expected her voice to sound like. Oh. But the voice isn't right. High-pitched and childish, like a 5-year-old. It's hard to understand anything she says because it's all just mumbles and nonsense. The thing is, she was just picking freaking flowers. You are so... I'd understand, like, if she was murdering someone, fair enough, but the thing is, she got scared when they shined the light at her, didn't they? So she ran away from him, and then they finally see her after 4 hours, and she picks flowers, and now she's sounding like a little kid. Why do I feel so much compassion toward Clarabelle the cow in this? Why do I feel so much compassion for her? Usually her answers to a question have something to do with flowers. She seems to really like flowers, almost to a tiresome extent. Shut up, you. It would almost be cute if it wasn't coming from whatever she is. Oh, shut up, it's still cute. I like the yellow ones. Oh. Among other various is what she has to say the most things. Despite not having any sort of visible eyes, she is quite aware of her surroundings. With every movement she looks in the direction it came from. Oh, she can see us, just not in the way we see her. Do you know where you are? Hi, was her answer. She raised one of her gloved hands up slightly. Oh. I made a full articulated waving motion. There was a slight cracking sound every time she moved, followed by the sound of liquid. Oh no. It wasn't so... Ugh. Oh, I feel so bad for her. It wasn't something I had ever heard before, nor do I want to hear it again after we've done here. Oh, bless. Give her a flower. She might like it. After an hour and a half of asked attempts to make her talk, we have nothing. Part of me wonders if she can really understand what we're saying. While she can speak decent English, she doesn't seem to really pay attention to anything we say to her. She looks in our direction but doesn't respond, instead choosing to stare. It's like she doesn't enjoy our company. You need to engage her in a different way. If she likes flowers, talk using the freaking flowers, you dum-dum. That's what I would do. If she likes flowers, talk about flowers with her. You know, get to know her. Maybe then she'll talk to you. I mean, you literally kidnapped the poor thing. I question if we really be able to get anything substantial out of her regardless. She lives in her own bubble without any sort of self-awareness. I envy that. Not envy enough to let her go. Oh, look at the cute flower. So cute. Oh God! I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that. February the 28th. It happened last night. Probably the best sleep I had ever since I put my feet on this place soil. Was really awakened by the sound of screaming and what had to be a struggle. I thought for sure it finally escaped and was in the process of picking us off, but no. Oh, Clarabelle. I was the last one to enter the container. Everyone else, or what was left of us at least, was gathered around watching her. It was screaming. Oh, Clarabelle. The loudest, most blood-curdling scream I'd ever heard. It never did this before. Somehow she almost sounded confused, but it was hard to confirm that at the moment, as we tried to figure out what was wrong. Before we could even move, oh my goodness, towards her, it happened. She began to float in the air. She went quiet and floated, hitting the ceiling. Oh, it's one of the others attacking her. Oh no. I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared. Oh no. Did one of the others get her? I thought sure we somehow F this up. It was floating. Oh god, 8. Calling an 8 when you can clearly it's a girl. I've never seen something like this ever before. I've heard of some weird occurrences happening here, but I never expected to see them with my own eyes. It didn't move while it was in the air, aside from the seemingly involuntary twitching. She almost looked like she was in some sort of trance, completely paused in the air. We didn't know what to do aside from watch. Her neck was now angled towards the side. Oh god. As if it was broken. Oh god, is she dead? What just happened? It stayed in that position for what felt like hours. Oh. We thought it was dead, ready to give up and admit we did something wrong, until all of a sudden it flopped back down to the floor like a rag doll. It raised its head back up at us, aware that we were in the room from the quick, sharp breath I took when its body hit the floor. Well, what? Well, we all quickly walked out of the room in fear. It might do something else. It started to click together in my head as I closed the door behind me. Okay, that was weird. What's happening? Alright. Fair enough. That was weird. Oh, well, that's just great, that is. February the 29th. I haven't been able to sleep since yesterday. What Clarabelle did seems almost familiar to me. That's strange to say, but the way she did it almost felt like she was reenacting something. I realized what she was copying. What happened that night wasn't random. There was a reason for it. Clarabelle just repeated what Marling... Oh. Campbell did decades ago. Oh. But why was she reenacting it then? Terry had told me this story during the time... Wait. During the time he was still present. He had told me a number of stories regarding this place, some of which I'm sure he wasn't supposed to tell me. Most of them all messed together in my head, but this one stood out to me. It was just so out of place. I thought maybe it was Terry just bullshitting me or misremembering something, but now I know for sure this is the truth to it. I wish I had this info before we all stepped onto the island, but of course... God alive. They feel the need to hide things from us all. Marilyn Campbell was a no-name shopkeeper before transferring to Discovery Island in the late 80s. There she became the main person to wear the mascot suit made for female Minnie, Daisy, and that was pretty much it. Most kids don't really want to see any other girl characters beyond that. That's not true nowadays. Quite a lot of them actually want to see freaking Hortensia. I'll tell you that much. Did we get Hortensia? No. And people like Clarabelle, and there's also the chicken, the girl chicken. But yeah, it's not just Daisy and Minnie. There's actually others as well, but still. One day, Mary showed up to work. Oh god, am I about to read something I'm not supposed to? Walked into a mascot room and attempted to... Oh dear. She just snapped out of nowhere on a regular work day and should broad day something. Oh, okay. Wait, so she was reenacting what, Mary? Why would she reenact that? Is she her? Why is she reacting that, though? The day that she freaking did that. The cheap light, oh god. But why? Why would she copy that? The weight of a person giving the other cast members enough time to stop her before she could try again. One might wonder why she did this. Or maybe she got possessed. I don't freaking know. And then the truth is, there was no answer. She was fine before it all, and then there wasn't anything really there to trigger a reaction like that. So she got randomly possessed. Nobody knows what happened to her after that. I would assume, however, that once someone related to this company goes off the grid, they're usually scrubbed from the company records, or worse, depending on their position. Are you trying to tell me that possibly either Clarabelle is her, or she saw something? Why is she reacting that one? It all sounds too familiar, doesn't it? And you know exactly what was talked about, but there apparently they're talking about the fact that she, all of a sudden, she was fine. Next minute, then she literally brought in the stuff to, you know, make a pretty Minnie Mouse and Daisy Mouse decoration on the ceiling using the light. we're not going to talk anymore about that because YouTube doesn't like it. It all sounds, doesn't it? If this thing is one of the corrupted, I could assume they're reflecting behaviors and events. It looks like that day had some lasting effects footprinted on this thing. She is recreating, but why? Recreating the event. This is the most progress we made in a while, but now more questions have been raised. Why is she doing that? Is she her? Oh, blame me neck, man. March 5th. I'm just gonna like zoom in a bit with this. Okay. She won't budge, no communication. She just sits there, looking at her flowers. We got her some to see if she would like to talk, but it didn't do anything. If anything, it was just progressively stopping communicating. Okay, so getting her flowers didn't work. But the thing is, if you take away the flowers, won't she get upset? Granted, it's not like we were getting anywhere, but there's something about the silence that I hate. Her voice was a bit grating after a while, but now whenever I or someone else goes into the container, she just looks at them. No moving, no talking, like a deer looking into headlights. As the flowers slowly die off, she becomes noticeably irritated. It's hard to describe how she even acts, let alone how to tell when she's annoyed. She never really gets violent from what I've seen, just incredibly antsy and silent, even more than usual. Something I noticed is that she's incredibly aggravated by any sort of light. I don't understand why, considering it's been concluded she can't see us. Her eye sockets are melted black voids. Whenever I shine my flashlight on her, she tries to retreat, which usually just results in her backing into a corner, covering her face with her hands. I don't know if we'll ever get anywhere with this, and like other situations I've heard about, this one doesn't give us anything to actually work with. I feel ready to just give up on it, but the potential consequences of doing that aren't worth it. Masha 15. My mum was always supportive of me. When I grew up, I was quite the imaginative kid. I had a bad habit of drawing on the walls of our house, forever ruining the cheap patent flower wallpaper. She never got mad over this. I'm surprised. My mom would freak out. Growing up in a poor neighborhood as an only child with a single working mother is the biggest burden, but she made effort by keeping me distracted by bringing home coloring books and more for me to draw on. I never really needed much to stay busy. I feel like you want to be an animator or something. I get this feeling. It might explain all like the freaking doodlies. The thing propped my mother up was... Oh, did she work for freaking Disney? Was her job at Disney? Oh, so she did. She was part of the management. Oh, so she would technically know about all the weird shit going on, right? Almost every day she'd go out and come back late at night. On paid days, we'd go to the local Toys R Us. Ah, when Toys R Us used to still be open here. Because she usually had some leftover money to spoil me with. Oh, that's nice. I grew up wanting to be like her. Oh. More specifically, how she seemed almost entirely unbothered by how tough our life was. I got my first job at 16, if you don't count the menial labor around our neighborhood. Not much of a note happened since then. Eventually, I landed a job at Disney World with the help of mom. Nothing special, just a security guard. Okay, first of all, your mother probably has nerves of steel. Probably having to put up with the weird stuff that happens around there. Especially with, like, you know, Clarabelle, you know, doing that thing and then reenacting that stuff. I don't know if your mom was working during the time of all that, but oh boy, that woman's probably seen some stuff. And you were young, so she probably just didn't want to bring that stuff home. It wasn't the most entertaining thing, but it paid and got me out of the house. During my free time, which was the majority of the job, I would draw little sketches on scrap paper instead of the walls, as I did as a kid. It was... oh look, there's a doodle. Oh, so cute. It was enough to keep me occupied and help me practice. I wanted to be an animator. I thought so. or something someday. That definitely is not happening now. I don't bring this up because I have to wonder if she knew about any of the obvious. With hindsight, I can look back and realize that she was just pretending to be happy. For my sake. Oh, bless. But I have to wonder how she could even keep that front up when she knew shit like this was happening. Well, she had no freaking choice, no, did she? She probably also got partially threatened, like, you keep this under wraps, none of this can get her, she will ruin us. Who freaking knows? Somehow I still wonder how she kept it together for as long as she did. Okay, so she eventually didn't keep it together, I'm assuming. Oh, are we like a girl talking? Or were you just a boy that had long hair? What are we dealing with here? No, bless. It runs deep. Alright, let's carry on. Alright, next up is April 10th. After a week of putting it off, we collectively agreed to explore that one building. I originally intended to enter it before we found her. I have a feeling if there are any more of these things, they could be a chance they are coming from here. At the very least, we could get a new lead on Clarabelle. I don't know how to feel about walking into a building I can't quite seem to find any other official documents on. It doesn't help that we can't really do any of this stuff during the day because there's a huge risk of ruining the magic if guests see people roaming the island out in the open. I'm sure there'll still be magic if they see freaking random Clarabelle wandering around. The building itself is strange. The layout doesn't make any sense, like the buildings we explored prior. But this place is massive. Most rooms seem fine, with the exception of what I can assume is a freezer room that's placed in the middle of the building. Each room is a different state of disarray. Some look fine and others look like they've been to hell and back. Some of the rooms were caved in due to what I assume is decay, so we weren't able to see past the rubble that was left over. Doubt there was anything interesting in there anyway. Aside from this, it was a pretty ordinary building, I guess. As I'm writing this, we set up a temporary camp here since none of us want to risk traveling in the dead of night like this. It's hard to ignore the sounds that come from the rooms of the building. They make me uncomfortable. Ooh. I know it's not just something in my head because some of the others have mentioned hearing things as well. At first, nothing feels wrong. The longer you stay, the more you start to notice. When I held my ears against one of the walls, I could hear that sounded like liquid flowing. The freezer room is warmer than the adjacent rooms. Sometimes a gust of wind will blow through the rooms we're in, but it's not random. There's some sort of pattern. It's almost like it's asthmatic breathing. Oh great, the building's alive. I wish I could believe I'm just imagining these things, but again, my team has noticed most of these occurrences. There are a few things they haven't. Last night, I couldn't fall asleep. I remember tossing and turning until the side of my head went off of the shitty sleeping bag I was using. I heard a rhythmic pounding, so faint it was almost inaudible, coming from below. I can't tell if it was my heart or something else. Ooh, 1962, all a lie. The island, I'm losing my mind, and not true. Oh my. Well then, things are getting interesting. Oh dear. Well then. Let's take a look at the next part then. Okay, so that just leaves one more part, right? So let's see, where is this page? Where is this page? Where did I put it? Where is this page? Oh, here it is. Alright, so this one actually doesn't have a date, so I'm just gonna start reading it. With my luck, I'm not surprised that everything, including the building itself, is out to get me. Okay, so the building really is alive and trying to eat you. After a bit of last-minute exploration, the room I was checking out caved in. Oh, blimmin' heck. Thankfully, it somehow didn't crush me, but my head was hit by some rubble. Oh dear. And I was out for a few days. I suddenly woke up back in my sleeping bag at our camp. I wish it was my apartment instead. Oh my god, something hit him. It was like, bonk! I don't remember much. The last thing that came to mind is finding an old sign for the island back on the place. Oh no! Still went under the name Treasure Island. Oh no, did Photo Negative get you? Did he come up behind you? Was it Photo Negative? Was it Pluto? Oh god, there's like a number of people it could have been. I'm leaning more towards Photo Negative. Everything after that was blank. In a way, I guess you could say it was like the building didn't want me to leave. It happened so suddenly that it's almost like it didn't feel like a coincidence. No, it was attempted murder, pretty much. I experienced what felt like one long nightmare while I was out. I'll write it down later as there was more to this one than the one I had last time. I'm still trying to shrug off the feeling it gave me. Oh, I have bandages wrapped around my head. Oh no. I've avoided taking them off because I worry about how bad the wound might be. I don't really want to see it. There is some blood, which makes me assume I got hit pretty hard. I feel fine for the most part, right? Oh dear. But from time to time, I have to deal with the headaches. I thought they were just normal headaches at first, but it became... Oh god, it appears to be more... Oh no. Oh no, have you got a serious head injury? Oh no. It's not just my brain that hurts. The wound is hurting too. I would think it'll be healing, but it's just not. Every time I get the sting in my brain, the wound just continues to bleed. The bandage around my head is barely even white anymore. Oh no! He's bleeding out. Why did you just throw a freaking Mickey with a freaking thermometer in his mouth? That is not what is happening here. Okay. Great. Well, what a way to end that. It's ended with our character possibly getting a head injury that they may or may not die from. But also, who attempted to murder them? I'm always going to blame Photo Negative Mickey straight away. My blame is going to go on a mouse. It's going to be one of the mice. Well then. Right now, that's all there's currently available to read, and... yeah, sorry towards the end there that some of the audio, like, didn't register, so I had to, like, read it on top of it afterwards. What a horrible place to end it, though. I want to continue reading. I want to know what happens next. And I also, let me know down in the comments section below, who would you blame? Do you really think it was the building that came down on him, or do you think it was some other being at work? Also... if you care for Clarabelle, put down hashtag justice for Clarabelle, because she really didn't deserve what she went through there. Poor baby. I actually feel really bad. I don't feel Clarabelle was really a hostile entity during that. She was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and then these guys are just like, flashlight! And she's like, ah! Alright then. Thank you so much for watching. Until this video, and when more gets released, I will cover it. Okay, well... happy Halloween. I don't know when this is going up. I'm just going to go now and edit it. So yeah, bye. See you next time.